3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, this is Dave A. Gardner, and you're listening to the Heart of Julia Jones fanfiction podcast. I'm Dave A. Gardner.
And I'm Eve Jones, your co-hostess with the mostess, coming to you once again with another episode of humor, drama, and a whole lot of heart. The Heart of Juliet Jones was a vintage comic strip that ran from the 1950s to the 1990s and featured my sister Julie, me, and our sweet loving father Pops, whom we affectionately adore and admire. Gosh, I'm going to miss him when we go to New York.
I know, Eve. He's quite an amazing fellow, your father, Howard Jones. What was it like growing up in your home?
Well, Dave, Pops was wonderful and always laid back and understanding. I don't know what I would have done without him, but, it was hard not having a mom to care for you or to look up to. But since Julie is more than a decade older than me, she sort of took that role. But to be honest, I think I drove her through the roof with my crazy antics and self-centered, egotistical ranting and raving. You could say I was just shy of totally out of control. One time, I purposely tried to get my math teacher fired because he liked Julie. So I tried to seduce him when he came to our house and made it look like it was his fault. Oh my gosh, I am so ashamed of that now. Thank God Julie forgives me. He actually wasn't fired, but he quit and moved away. All because of me. Not one of my most glorious moments in life. But it is what it is. At least, now I'm doing something better with myself in this world and chasing my dream, Eventually, I'll be going to Hollywood, baby. I can hear them calling me. Can you hear them calling me, Dave?
Yes, absolutely. I can hear them too. I'm glad that rebellious streak in you is ancient history now, Eve.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Dave. Just ask Julie. Or Shorty. Or Deirdre. But don't ask Pops. He thinks I'm his little angel. Which of course I am.
Well, my esteemed lovely co-host, why don't you tell us what happened in our last episode?
As always, Dave, it would be my absolute pleasure. Well, Julie and I arrived at Devon train station to join my love crush and mentor, Glenn Sabine, on our trip to New York. To see him in all his suit and tie glory was... wow! Unfortunately, that unhealthy, chain-smoking goober Pike Setter was there too. I hate that he has to come with us. But I'm glad that I'm being flanked by my protective older sister and my darling Glenn. It seems like Glenn was a little surprised but delighted to see my sister join us. That's fine by me. Julie is a very likable woman, but I can be quite a bit jealous sometimes. You know what I mean when someone moves in on your man? Or in your case, Dave, your woman? Okay, scratch that. Yes.
Let's listen in to part 2 of Finding Her Dream to find out what happens next. The air in the Devon Station train terminal was oppressively stifling. More to the point, stifling Pike Setter's style. Being assistant to Mr. Glenn Sabine came with no perks, no side benefits, compensation packages, or any solatia whatsoever. Pike was one step away from dumping the arrogant show-off and taking off on his own, starting his own Miss Teenager contest that lasted weeks or maybe even months. Of course, depending on the bank loan's minimum interest rate at low turnover. Sure, he wouldn't have the quick-witted brains or the slim-figured brawn of Mr. Sabine, but he could smoke a mean cigarette, and nobody, and he meant nobody, could beat him at one-on-one poker. Those were major assets, and if Glenn Sabine didn't agree, Pike knew what Glenn could do with his assets. Then came this. Complaint number 5,678 since they got to this one-horse town and checked into the Ritz, translated in Devon as the dilapidated shanty they called the Devon House Hotel. Pike had hooked them up with tickets, but there was obviously a problem. There was always a problem. "Oh, you're traveling by coach," squawked the Sabine. "Very sensible, Pike." Pike whirled around in a miff. "Yes?" Sabine was pouring on the charm all over Eve Jones like oil on a massage, probably for the sake of the sister chaperone.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Sabine. This is going to be one of the most exciting trips I have ever taken in my entire life.
And one of the most important ones, Eve?
Yeah, you got that right, Julie. I'm looking forward to getting there. but even the train ride is going to be oh so magnificent. So groovy, don't you think?
That's right, ladies. I want to make sure you both have the utmost comfort on our trip there, Sabine said. That way you will arrive in New York in style. Isn't that the way it should be with all budding actresses, Eve?
Oh, I couldn't agree more, Glenn. I mean, Mr. Sabine. Yeah, because that's your name. In case you forgot, I didn't. Gosh, Julie, he is such a dreamboat. Don't you think so too?
I mean, first of all, keep it down, little sis. He can hear us talking about him since he's kind of standing right there, you know? But yeah, Eve, I would have to agree with you on that. He is incredibly handsome. For a criminal.
Wait, Julie, what did you just say?
Nothing, Eve. I didn't say anything. What I meant is you're right, little sister.
Sabine turned to Pike with a smile that would melt gold bullion to liquid cheese. Exchange these coach tickets for parlor, will you? The Sabine said with that tone he got when he transformed from quiet mongrel to dim-witted ignoramus. Always the actor. It'll be much cozier that way, Sabine added. Better get a move on, Pike. Get a what? Pike groaned to himself as he walked off, clutching the tickets in his sweaty palms. Who in the world did Glenn Sabine think Pike Setter was anyway? His beck and call boy? He thought not. In fact, he thought 1,000 knots. Of course, you had to admire the old barnstormer for his con skill, thought Pike. Glenn Sabine, master of the empty gesture, Grand Mufti of Siam. Pike huffed to himself, alone with his thoughts as he wandered away to exchange the tickets. Now exactly how in the frig was he expected to switch seats to parlor, pray tell? Sabine had to sweat out the bucks for these coach tickets. This was going to be a long train ride, he grumbled to himself as he eyed the older sister from across the platform. He flashed himself a smart-alecky smirk. Maybe exchanging tickets wasn't such a bad idea. Now he could set himself up with a seat right next to hers.
So hey everyone, this is Julie. You know me, Juliet Jones. Now, I have no idea what is going through the thick skulls of this Glenn Sabine and his imbecile assistant, Putrid something, but I can tell you this. I don't trust them for a second. Something still tells me that they are conniving mongrels, and I'm going to be watching them like a hawk. As Eve says, yes sir, baby. So yeah, thanks for listening to the Heart of Juliet Jones fanfiction podcast. That's my heart, as you well know. Don't forget, if you loved this podcast, and I know you did, why not take our relationship a step further and subscribe? You won't regret it for a second. And as always, if you're interested in reading more romantic stories by Eve's favorite romance author, Eve just loves him way too much. Check out his website at authordaveagardner.com and find a novel that touches your soul. You'll actually find that they all do. So thanks again for joining us, dear listeners. We love you and miss you already. Have a great week. And like Juliet, that's me, hoo-hoo. May love always bloom in your heart like the lovely rose that you are. Air kisses and more from me and Eve. We love you dearly. Bye-bye, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. What's that, Dave? Oh, right. Go check out his website right now to get the best deals on inspirational romance novels. Yeah, I told them, yes. I think they got it, Dave. Aw, love you too, Dave. Bye-bye, everyone.